following content is for educational and informational purposes only. All information is based on publicly available reports and ongoing federal investigations. In the pre-dawn hours of what would become one of the most significant raids in entertainment industry history, federal agents made a discovery that would send shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. What began as a routine financial investigation at the Beverly Hills residence of Janice Combs, mother of music mogul Sean "Diddy" Combs, quickly transformed into something far more sinister. The modest mansion, nestled quietly among the rolling hills of one of America's most exclusive neighborhoods, had always been viewed as nothing more than a peaceful retreat for an elderly woman. Neighbors knew it as the home of a dignified 84-year-old who occasionally appeared at red carpet events supporting her famous son. No one suspected that beneath the manicured gardens and elegant facade lay secrets that would challenge everything the public thought they knew about power, fame, and protection in America. Federal investigators had arrived expecting to examine financial records related to potential tax irregularities. Instead, they uncovered what appears to be the operational headquarters of a sophisticated criminal enterprise that had been hiding in plain sight for potentially decades. The breakthrough came after more than 3 hours of methodical searching through the main floors of the residence. Agents noticed an architectural inconsistency in the library, a slight gap between two bookcases that didn't match the original 2006 building plans filed with Los Angeles County. Behind the false wall, they discovered a concealed elevator system that led to a reinforced underground facility, secured by military-grade steel doors and biometric locks. What they found inside that hidden chamber would immediately elevate the case from a financial audit to a federal investigation into organized crime, human trafficking, and systematic abuse of minors. The underground facility was divided into 3 distinct sections, each serving a specific purpose in what investigators now believe was a carefully orchestrated criminal operation spanning multiple years and potentially multiple countries. The first section contained an extensive filing system with color-coded folders, many marked with warnings like confidential, do not remove, and restricted access only. Among these documents was a thick binder containing detailed profiles of approximately 70 individuals, primarily young artists between the ages of 12 and 14. Each profile was disturbingly comprehensive, including personal photographs, biographical information, school records, and family details with guardian information frequently left blank or crossed out entirely. Most concerning was what investigators described as a selection coding system that appeared to categorize these young people based on unknown criteria. A federal investigator noted in the official report, "These documents don't resemble standard talent agency files or artist development materials. The level of personal detail and the systematic organization suggests something far more troubling, as if someone was maintaining a catalog for selection purposes." Particularly alarming was the discovery that over 40% of the photographs were taken in identical settings, black flooring, white walls, and harsh frontal lighting that created an atmosphere reminiscent of interrogation facilities rather than talent showcases. The second section housed sophisticated digital equipment, including multiple encrypted storage devices and high-security computer systems. Initial examination revealed over 700 video files in various formats, with metadata deliberately removed to prevent tracking or identification. The content of these files was immediately classified as evidence in potential child exploitation cases, prompting federal authorities to transfer all digital materials to specialized analysis facilities in Quantico for further investigation. The third section contained what appeared to be operational materials for coordinating secret gatherings. Over 30 invitations to private events were discovered, each bearing cryptic titles such as Night of Discovery, Internal Casting, and The Circle of Light. These invitations contained no specific addresses, only dates, times, and QR codes that investigators believe were used to provide location information only to verified attendees. Perhaps most significantly, several of these invitations bore the logo of a registered nonprofit organization that had publicly positioned itself as an arts education foundation for disadvantaged youth, an organization that Sean Combs had referenced positively in multiple media interviews over the years. Among the most damaging discoveries were printed email communications from an account associated with known aliases used by Sean Combs. These messages, dated as recently as March 2023, contained a language that investigators describe as explicitly coordinating illegal activities involving minors. One particularly incriminating message read, "Select 3 for the upcoming gathering. Ensure they demonstrate compliance and minimal resistance." Newer participants tend to be more manageable. Avoid anyone with active family oversight. Compensation will be provided as discussed. The recipient of these messages was identified only as SB, but digital forensics traced the communications to servers operated by a media management company that had received substantial investments from Combs-affiliated businesses. Additional evidence included detailed financial records showing suspicious international money transfers totaling over $3.8 million over a 2-year period. These funds originated from organizations based in Qatar and other Middle Eastern countries officially designated as support for international youth performance programs, but routed through shell companies with no apparent legitimate business operations. Federal investigators also discovered $320,000 in cash hidden throughout the facility, along with luxury items including watches and jewelry that match descriptions from unsolved theft cases in the Hollywood Hills area between 2019 and 2022. As the investigation expanded, federal authorities began mapping what appears to be an extensive network of individuals and organizations connected to the discovered evidence. The scope of potential involvement has prompted investigators to treat this as a case of organized crime rather than isolated criminal behavior. Central to this network was a nonprofit organization that operated under the guise of providing arts education and mentorship to young people from underserved communities. Despite claiming to serve hundreds of youth over several years, investigators found no records of public performances, community outreach events, or legitimate educational programming. The organization's funding sources were particularly suspicious, with the majority of donations coming from anonymous contributors and foreign entities with no apparent connection to arts education or youth development. Financial analysis revealed that funds were systematically redirected to accounts controlled by associates of Sean Combs, often through multiple intermediary transactions designed to obscure the money trail. Of particular concern to federal investigators was evidence suggesting international coordination of activities. Communications and financial records indicated connections to organizations in the Caribbean and Middle East, suggesting the possibility of cross-border human trafficking operations disguised as cultural exchange programs. The investigation also revealed sophisticated media manipulation strategies designed to protect the network from exposure. Evidence suggests coordinated efforts to suppress negative coverage, silence potential witnesses, and maintain public images that would deflect suspicion from criminal activities. The investigation has identified multiple individuals whose connections to the discovered evidence warrant further examination. While no formal charges have been filed against most of these individuals, their potential involvement has significantly expanded the scope of the federal investigation. Janice Combs, despite her advanced age and previously spotless public image, has become a central figure in the investigation. Her ownership of the property where evidence was discovered, combined with her signature on various financial documents related to suspicious activities, has raised questions about her level of knowledge and involvement. Neighbors have reported observing unusual activity at the residence, including frequent late-night visits from unidentified individuals and vehicles that didn't match the typical pattern of family or staff visits. These observations, previously dismissed as insignificant, have taken on new meaning in light of the discovered evidence. Several entertainment industry figures have also been identified as persons of interest based on their documented attendance at private events connected to the investigation. While their level of involvement remains unclear, federal authorities are working to determine whether they were participants, victims, or witnesses to criminal activities. Of particular interest to investigators is a former security professional who contacted federal authorities immediately following news reports of the raid. This individual, who worked for Sean Combs for nearly 7 years, has provided detailed information about activities at various properties and events, including the Beverly Hills residence, where evidence was discovered. The witness, currently under federal protection, has described a sophisticated operation involving careful screening of participants, elaborate security measures to prevent documentation of activities, and systematic efforts to ensure the silence of anyone who might have witnessed questionable behavior. The current investigation has prompted federal authorities to re-examine numerous incidents from Sean Combs' past that were previously dismissed or inadequately investigated. Several cases that seemed unrelated at the time now appeared to fit a pattern of criminal behavior and systematic cover-ups. A 1999 nightclub shooting incident in New York, which resulted in Combs' arrest, but no conviction is being reviewed in light of new evidence suggesting potential witness intimidation and evidence tampering. Previously dismissed reports of suspicious activity on the night of the shooting are now being treated as potentially credible leads. The 2018 death of Kim Porter, mother of 3 of Combs' children, is also being re-examined. While her death was officially attributed to pneumonia, friends and family members had reported that she was planning to make public statements about her relationship with Combs shortly before her death. Legal documents show she had been attempting to modify custody arrangements and financial agreements in the weeks preceding her death. Multiple civil lawsuits filed against Combs between 2023 and 2024, alleging various forms of abuse and coercion, are being reviewed as potential evidence of ongoing criminal behavior. Many of these cases were quickly settled out of court with settlement terms that included strict confidentiality agreements, preventing victims from discussing their experiences publicly. Former associates and employees have described a culture of fear and silence surrounding Combs' operations, with individuals afraid to speak out due to concerns about retaliation against their careers, finances, or personal safety. This pattern of intimidation appears to have been systematic and sustained over many years. The magnitude of the discovered evidence has prompted federal authorities to treat this investigation as a national security priority, with resources typically reserved for major terrorism or organized crime cases being allocated to the effort. Multiple federal agencies are now involved in the investigation, including the FBI's Crimes Against Children Unit, the Department of Homeland Security's Human Trafficking Division, and international law enforcement agencies in countries where connected activities may have occurred. The complexity of the case has required the establishment of a specialized task force with expertise in financial crimes, digital forensics, international law, and victim services. This multidisciplinary approach reflects the sophisticated nature of the alleged criminal enterprise and the need for coordinated investigation across multiple jurisdictions. Federal authorities have established a dedicated hotline for potential victims and witnesses, with over 100 individuals contacting investigators within the first week of its operation. Many of these callers have provided information that corroborates evidence discovered during the raid, while others have disclosed additional incidents and locations that may be connected to the investigation. The international scope of the investigation has prompted cooperation with law enforcement agencies in multiple countries, particularly in jurisdictions where financial transactions or suspected criminal activities may have occurred. This cooperation is essential for understanding the full extent of any criminal network and ensuring that all responsible parties are held accountable. The revelation of this investigation has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and prompted widespread public discussion about power accountability and the protection of vulnerable individuals in high-profile industries. Social media platforms have been flooded with discussions about the case, with many individuals sharing previously dismissed concerns about Sean Combs' behavior and the culture of silence that may have enabled criminal activities to continue undetected. Several celebrities and industry professionals have publicly distanced themselves from Combs canceling planned collaborations and removing social media content that might suggest ongoing professional relationships. This rapid distancing reflects both the seriousness of the allegations and the potential career consequences of association with the investigation. Child protection organizations have used the case to highlight broader issues about the vulnerability of young people in the entertainment industry and the need for stronger safeguards against exploitation. Several organizations have called for industry-wide reforms to better protect minors and create safer reporting mechanisms for abuse and exploitation. The case has also prompted discussions about the role of wealth and fame in potentially shielding criminal behavior from investigation and prosecution. Many observers have noted that the sophisticated nature of the alleged criminal enterprise suggests access to significant resources and professional expertise that would not be available to typical criminal organizations. Federal authorities have made it clear that the investigation is far from complete, with significant work remaining to analyze all discovered evidence and identify all individuals who may have been involved in or affected by the alleged criminal activities. The digital evidence alone is expected to require months of analysis, with specialized teams working to decrypt files, recover deleted data, and trace digital communications across multiple platforms and time periods. This analysis is critical for understanding the full scope of any criminal enterprise and identifying all participants and victims. Financial investigators are working to trace money flows across multiple countries and through various corporate entities, a process that requires cooperation with international banking institutions and foreign law enforcement agencies. This financial analysis is essential for understanding how any criminal enterprise was funded and operated. Perhaps most importantly, victim services specialists are working to identify and support individuals who may have been harmed by the alleged criminal activities. This process requires extreme sensitivity and specialized expertise, as many potential victims may be reluctant to come forward due to trauma, fear of retaliation, or concerns about privacy and publicity. The investigation has also expanded to examine other properties and organizations that may be connected to the discovered evidence. This expansion reflects the possibility that the Beverly Hills residence was just one component of a larger criminal network operating across multiple locations and jurisdictions. Regardless of the ultimate outcome of the criminal investigation, the case has already prompted significant discussions about reform and accountability in the entertainment industry. The allegations suggest systematic failures in protecting vulnerable individuals and preventing the abuse of power by influential figures. Industry organizations have begun reviewing their policies and procedures for working with minors, including background check requirements, supervision protocols, and reporting mechanisms for suspected abuse or exploitation. These reviews reflect recognition that current safeguards may be inadequate to prevent the type of systematic abuse alleged in this case. The case has also highlighted the need for better support systems for individuals who may witness or experience abuse in industry settings. Many observers have noted that the culture of silence and fear described in this investigation likely exists in other contexts and with other powerful figures. Legal experts have suggested that the case may prompt legislative changes designed to strengthen protections for minors in entertainment settings and create stronger penalties for those who exploit their positions of power to harm vulnerable individuals. The international scope of the alleged criminal activities has also raised questions about the adequacy of current laws and enforcement mechanisms for addressing cross-border crimes involving the exploitation of minors. This case may serve as a catalyst for improved international cooperation and stronger legal frameworks for prosecuting such crimes. The investigation into evidence discovered at the Beverly Hills residence of Janice Combs represents one of the most significant criminal cases in recent entertainment industry history. The scope and sophistication of the alleged criminal enterprise, combined with the high-profile nature of the central figure, has captured national attention and prompted important discussions about power accountability and protection of vulnerable individuals. While the investigation is ongoing and no final conclusions have been reached, the evidence discovered thus far suggests systematic criminal behavior that may have continued for many years, while being shielded by wealth, fame, and a culture of silence. The case serves as a stark reminder that no individual, regardless of their status or influence, should be above the law. The ultimate impact of this investigation will likely extend far beyond any individual prosecutions that may result. The case has already prompted important conversations about reform and accountability that may lead to meaningful changes in how the entertainment industry operates and how society protects its most vulnerable members. As federal authorities continue their work to uncover the full truth and ensure justice for any victims, the public attention surrounding this case serves as a powerful reminder that silence in the face of suspected abuse is not an option. The courage of those who have come forward to provide information and testimony may ultimately prevent future harm and ensure that those responsible for any criminal activities are held fully accountable under the law. The investigation continues, and the full truth may not be known for months or even years. But the commitment to uncovering that truth, regardless of who it may implicate or what powerful interests it may threaten, represents the best of American justice.